All right, chat. Ready for some good news? This is actually something I wasn't able to go over because I was out of town when this dropped. But this is actually really cool. All right. So, as you guys know, the San Antonio Spurs, I probably need a visual for this. The Spurs have a lot of future picks. Brian Wright and company did a phenomenal job of making sure we were prepared for this upcoming draft. The best draft is going to be one of the better drafts of the last, few years, right? Wemby one was phenomenal, but this one has a lot of depth, a lot of talent, especially in the lottery. So we can see here, not that long ago, we talked about the Chicago Bulls pick. We said protected 1 through 10. But how things were going, it seemed as if they were going to go ahead and just be a lottery team, right? Like that's it. It's over. That one will not convey. That's what we assumed. Also with the Hornets, we said protected 1 through 14. Yeah, they'll be bad enough where, that won't convey, right? So most of us just agreed, as a unit, that the Spurs are going to have 2 first-round picks in 2025. And everything else is just kind of up in the air, but these are the ones that we can bank on. Our own, because, even though we want to make the playoffs, don't know if we will. And then, so it'll be a really good pick. And the Atlanta Hawks, which they have constantly just talked about growing their players as far as like development. That's all they've been talking about is, hey, we have to develop these players. So they're not going to be a good team. I'm assuming they will not be a good team, and they have no incentive to tank, right? So, they have they're going to try to win, right? They're going to try to win, but, it's just not going to be good enough. They have no incentive. So they're going to attempt to win, but it's too young, just way too young. Now, this is actually something I was not aware of, or something I just didn't think about. So this article here talks about Zach LaVine. So it talks about how the Bulls attempted to shop LaVine and found out real quick that his value is low. It is in the garbage. It's trash. We can't move him. We have to do something. And what's that one thing that they would have to do? The one thing that the Chicago Bulls would have to do is make sure that teams can see how valuable he actually is. So that would mean playing him and showing that he can affect winning. That would mean playing him, giving him significant minutes, and you trying your best to be a cohesive team around him. Because one thing you don't want to do is him go out there and he stinks up the place and you really can't move him. Now, this article also points out that doesn't necessarily mean that they'll make the playoffs or anything. But Chicago owing the Spurs a top 10 protected first, and several teams likely to tank hard for Cooper Flag, they may be at risk of giving up that pick. So yeah, it's really good news. So it is a possibility. This is an angle that I was not thinking about, but it is a possibility that we could end up getting their pick to convey, essentially, while they're striving. They're trying their best and striving for LaVine to be put back on the market. I guess it just depends on how the Bulls view the 2025 draft. I think they would be crazy not to view it a certain way. But if you're trying to bring up his value and, put him on the market while also wanting Cooper Flag, those things will conflict with each other, right? They're going to conflict. I hope that's what they do, but I think they prefer having a great pick before being able to trade LaVine for a little more. That's true, but they've really been trying to come off of him. Like, I don't even think Zach LaVine, I could be wrong here. This is me watching from afar, but I don't even think Zach LaVine wants to be there at all, right? Like, it doesn't actually help him just rotting on the team. I pray Lonzo Ball finally plays. Dude's only played 13% of the Bulls the past 3 seasons he's been there. 13%? Ugh. All right. But this is something I definitely was not expecting, okay? This is something that I definitely didn't see coming. And it says, the Charlotte Hornets, who also owe the Spurs a protected first-round pick, may be trying to make the playoffs at least according to Brandon Miller. The Spurs would benefit if the Hornets made the playoffs or the Bulls finished 11th or worse. I did not know about this either. What the heck? The Charlotte Hornets want to try to make the playoffs? So this was back in, July 20th. Brandon Miller's bold guarantee should be music to Spurs fans' ears. Did not see this. So let's see. I think the Charlotte fans should expect a playoff team. We're going to bring energy every game and go out there and get as many wins as we can. So he's at least of the assumption that they're going for the playoffs, and I'm sure it's been told to him that we're gonna get this thing together. We're gonna go try to make the playoffs. But hey, this one I'm not as hopeful for, right? Only because he's a player. He doesn't really have much say so in what they do, what direction they go in there. But this right here, that's the wrong thing. I already lost it. This right here with the Bulls, I think that's plausible, honestly. But do the Hornets have a team good enough to try? I don't think they're that great. Yeah, I don't think they're that great. Let's see. Yeah, last season they only had 21 wins. I don't think that they'll be that great. So they're gonna attempt to, according to Brandon Miller. But the one that I am excited about is the Chicago Bulls one, okay? Because that just, in my opinion, I think that is a dilemma. I truly think that's a dilemma. And maybe, just maybe, them getting nearly 40 wins last season, being nearly 500, maybe that's maybe they'll think, because the Chicago Bulls, here's the thing, this is what makes me hopeful about the Bulls. They have been in continuous state of mediocrity and saying that it's good enough. They've been constant good enough. They're good enough boys, all right? And I'm really hoping that they stay in that cycle this upcoming season and say, hey, look, just be optimistic as you can. Hey, look, we have 50. We won nearly 50% of our games. All right. Got Zach LaVine. We got to make sure Zach LaVine get his numbers up. Maybe we can make something happen. That's what I'm hoping for. Okay. Chicago Bulls have not been known as a team that has been attempting to tank. A lot of fans have actually been upset with their unwillingness to just tank. They traded DeMar DeRozan. They are trying to get rid of Zach. But that's the thing. They haven't been able to. That's what I'm excited about. If the team continues to reject LaVine and Vucevic in trade talks, the Spurs may have a chance. Yeah, they're having a terrible time. So you have to play them, right? You have to play them. It's really difficult to, it's two things playing on you right now. I mean, you can tank. You can just make sure they don't get playing time at all. Just sit them on the bench. You can do that and tank that way. But you're gonna have a very disgruntled, you're gonna have some disgruntled employees, and you'll never be able to move them at that point. And that would all be an attempt to get Cooper Flag, in which multitude of other teams are going to be tanking to get Cooper Flag. I just don't know if they'll be willing to do it. Chicago Bulls have been very okay with being mediocre. So I don't know if they'll be willing to do it. That's what gets me hope, all right? That gives me some hopium. I think that's some great news there. So at the very least, all right? The very least, the San Antonio Spurs will have our own. We'll have Atlanta's. But, man, we might get that Chicago. I'm still not a huge believer of the Hornets, but we might get that Chicago. It's crazy our future relies on the Ball brothers. Now, don't get me wrong. We're fine regardless, okay? If none of this happens and we only have ours and Atlanta's. Actually, I'll go even further. If none of this happens and we have a pretty, bad first-round pick, because let's just say the Spurs make the playoffs and all we have is Atlanta, that's still great. It's okay. Atlanta, the only pick we will get. Well, we'll still have our own. It just won't be a lottery if we make the playoffs, right? But we're good regardless. Let me make that clear, okay? I'm cool with just having the Atlanta pick. I'm fine with just having the Atlanta pick. I don't think they become unprotected next year. Gosh, let me see if we can look at the details. I did not look up the details before this. Chicago Bulls Spurs pick details 2025. I don't remember. Let's see. Gosh dang it. I know it'll convey to next season, but I don't think they become unprotected. Charlotte pick becomes 2 seconds if they don't convey this season. Yeah. Because the Charlotte's one been pushed off. It's already not conveyed a couple times, or a few times, so that'll be some seconds. Chicago Bulls should still be a first next season. The next season, but I don't think it's unprotected or anything. Bulls. Well, let me do details. Let's see here. Might have to get back to you on that. Top 8 protected? No. Let's see here. Here we go. We're gonna be far down. Did I miss this? No. Gosh. All right, let's see here. 2025 first round pick from Chicago. Chicago's first round pick to San Antonio, protected for selections 1 through 10, 2025. 1 through 8, 2026. You were right. 1 through 8 in 2027. If Chicago has not conveyed in first round pick by 2027, then Chicago will instead convey its 2028 second round pick to Spurs. So it'll be 1 second round pick. And then that Charlotte one, as a chatter already brought up, if this pick falls within its protected range and is therefore not conveyed, then Charlotte will instead convey its 2026 second round pick and 2027 second round pick to Spurs. There you go. Yep. So it will be top 8 protected. The next 2 seasons. I didn't think it would be unprotected. That would be wild. That would be really wild. So we have a really good shot. We have actually a great shot of it conveying, at least in the next couple seasons. We really don't need any more seconds. How many seconds we have? Oh my goodness. Let's see. We'll just say in the next, 4 years? You guys want to do 4 years? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We have 13 second round picks in the next 4 years. Yeah, that's a lot. These will be, you know, at this point, the Spurs will be a winning team. We'll be on our way. We'll be feared by everyone in the NBA. And these are going to be traded, right? You're not going to convey all these. They'll be traded, and we'll get another veteran or, you know, something good. We'll get something good. Yeah, Clan, I'll be honest. I don't think we'll be able to keep Vassell long term. Why not? Why not? I think we could. I think we can keep him. Why won't we be able to keep him? If contract is constructed declining per year, the money, I ain't worried about it. We'll be all right. I think you can keep Vassell. A lot of guys are willing to. Maybe I have too much faith here, but in 5 years, well, guess we'll have to see. But I think it'll be fine. Hugo says CBA rules are not that bad to not keep Vassell. I think it'll be okay. I think we'll keep him. Vassell is, maybe I have too much faith here, but guys are willing also to, construct their contracts in a way that benefits the team. And especially you saying 5 years from now, the Spurs will be winners, right? Like, we'll be some serious winners. I think it'll be okay. And his injury history. He did a pretty good job this season, didn't he? Devin Vassell stats. I know he got hurt earlier in this season. I mean, they can use that as a negotiation tactic, right? Like, that knee or whatever he might be dealing with. No, man, you should be pretty positive. He played almost just as many games as he did his second year in the league, and on top of it, he also played 6 extra minutes with a significantly more tiresome role, right? 62 games started. Don't worry about it. We'll be fine. We'll be able to keep him. Not a huge ego guy. We'll be all right. I'm not worried. Spurs going to be nasty, dog. We're going to be really nasty. We're going to be a great team. I'm excited. I forgot what this segment was even. It's in the segment. I forgot what we even what were we talking about? We were talking about picks and something. I have no idea what this segment was about. I'm completely off. Picks? No, it was about something else before. I don't know. We're ending the segment. And segment ended.